How's it going, guys? I get asked a lot to share my futures trading strategy. I'm going to give you guys the most basic, super easy way to make really consistent income using just specific price action using the first candle of the New York Stock Exchange. So if I go straight to SPY, which is this on a 15-minute chart, all I had to do is draw the top and low of the first candle, which is this 945 candle. Put my horizontal lines from the top to low. That just means support resistance, right? If we break the upper line, that's resistance, and then we would say the general trend is going to be up for the day. If we break the lower line, that is support, which means it's going to be a downtrend. All right. So what I do is I look for this candle to break right at 10:15. This candle breaks with a body of a candle. Now, what I want to see now that I see that it is a downtrend, I need to see a retest of the lower line, which is the retest type pattern. So I need to see a retest coming back up, which we see right in here. It touches that lower line, or inside of this orb here. I like to draw a middle line because this is going to show you guys the secret sauce of how can you use this to get like a really clear, precise stop loss. So if I put my middle line here, which is matching the middle of this orb, that is the horizontal line in the middle. So now what this is telling us is if we get a candle that goes above this middle line, it is probably a fake out, and not just above it, but a body. Everything that we do is with bodies. Bodies tell the story, wicks do the damage. So this is a body closing below the horizontal line, meaning we're in a downtrend. We get in right when we retest the lower orb, this lower line here, or anywhere inside of here. And then you can also see EMAs are great opportunities too to see, hey, we're in a downtrend. All these EMAs are some things to add in. But if we do close with a body above this middle orb, we do not take, we get stopped out. And then we wait for price to close above this up orb, then we'll take it to the upside. All right. So this is a breakout retest type pattern using 3 lines on a chart, very tight stop loss to make amazing returns like this. The downtrend was figured down here from this low to this high where you enter from this lower line. This was a 3% drop. Absolute monster return, guys. Literally monster, life-changing return. And so you might ask, well, what if price doesn't retest? Then you just don't get in the trade. You have to have a retest because we want the stop loss to be as tight as possible. If you get in like way down in here, when this, look how big your stop loss is, right? Your stop loss from here to here, if we do, we draw the line from here to here to this middle lower, that's a 1.23%. That's a pretty big stop loss, right? We don't want that. And so what you can do is, I always tell people take the gains at the end of the day. It's okay to scale out some. As you can see, this was a massive move down from this. And then if you didn't take any of the gains, you might have got discouraged. She goes, yes, take some gains here, but you want to make sure you have a sizable, a big size that, because usually the end of the day is where you get the massive move happening. So if you just took your gains right away, you missed out on this monster move. All right. So very nice, clear risk versus reward. The next thing is sizing. What do you look to do? I highly recommend you do this with futures. You can do this. I don't recommend doing this with options because of theta. Do this with futures. Do it with micros. You can do, 5, 10 micros, whatever you want to do. And remember, though, the higher the micros, like if you have 10 micros, maybe you could scale out 2 micros here and then hold the rest of the 8 down here. Stop losses at the middle orb, right? It's something you got to plan on doing. That's going to come out with, how you do this. But this is the basic strategy of how I look to do this. I'll post all this in the Discord, what I see fit. It is just so simple, though. This right here will pass your challenges and all of that. Here's your top to bottom. Lower, here's your first 15-minute candle. Right here's your 10-15. That is a downtrend confirmation. A lot of people are like, I might miss the move, and they get in right away, which honestly, yeah, you would have made a nice little move down, but you don't have a clear risk versus reward, because what if it comes back up and does a fake out? Your stop loss is absolutely massive. So now we draw our middle line right up in here, and that gives us our stop loss, right? That's our middle line. And how to a T, we come up to that and dump down, because that is known as resistance. Till we break above this middle orb, we're still in a downtrend. So you look for what? Price comes back up into these for entries. You can add some in here, add some up inside of here. Just make sure your stop loss is above there. body of a candle closing, and then where do you look to take your massive gain towards the end of the day? All right, I'm going to keep on showing you some examples. I'll show you some bad examples. Obviously, this system isn't going to work all the time. I don't want anybody to have that notion of that. But you can see that it works really well, right? Here's your 945. Where do you look to get in? When price has a body of a candle breaking out, that gives us an uptrend. This candle is not an uptrend. That's a wick. This candle is at 10:15. Price hits this upper orb to a T. You look to get in. Where do you take profit? Towards the end of the day, which is right here at 4 o'clock. Bam, bam, you're done. Make a massive gain. All right, I mean, I'm sure that I'll find a bad trade here. 945, downtrend right here. Here is a bad trade. Now, where do you look to get in? Right here at this lower orb, and you can add some more at the middle, at some of these EMAs, which we'll probably see some nice EMAs here too. So let's do this. Draw our horizontal line right here in the middle. That's our stop loss. So we can take this away so we can just get the precise action. Because remember, when you're doing the 945, if you do the middle of that, right? If you do the middle of that 945, that kind of gives you a nice area where if price does retrace more than half of that move, then it's probably going to make an uptrend. So we get this massive downtrend. We come back up, test this lower orb. We get in some positions. And then it actually just closes way above it, right? I mean, look at this. So yeah, we get stopped out relatively fast, right? You know, it stops us out. And this is an example of where you would take a loss. But then again, what happens? 1045, we hit this. We make an uptrend. We come back to this upper orb. And where do you make a massive move? Right in here. Bam, bam. You make the gain up here. So you see what happens if you take it to the long side, you win. I would have definitely scaled this out just to, honestly, I would just make this a break-even day. You lost here on this downside, massive move up, stops you out pretty bad, and then you come up. But you can see towards the end of the day, where was the move that ended? It ended up in here towards the high. So just keep that in mind. All right. So that is a really tricky day. So you're going to have days like that. All right. You can do lots of this in back tests here. But this is a really good strategy. I like to use other things, but this is really the basis of how to get really precise action here. Right here is your uptrend. Price comes back inside of orb. Obviously, this is the middle orb right here. Doesn't even come close to it. There's your middle line. Doesn't come it. And as you can see, where does price go up? Towards the end of the day, you take your profit. Bam, bam, you're done. You see how this works? Absolutely amazing. It's all about sizing. Never go too big in sizing where one trade just wrecks you too much. Always wait for the retest inside of the orb or at the lines, right? If you make an uptrend here, you would have some orders here or inside of here. If you want to be safer, you want to go more towards inside the orb. If you want to get like the most precise entry, you can look more to EMAs, like maybe get some in there. But I like micros because you know, if you do like a lot of minis, you can just get wrecked instantly, right? So just be careful. Sizing is the number one thing. Risk management is always the number one thing. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if you don't have risk management, you will get wrecked, right? Futures is very volatile. This is my number one future strategy on how I look to do things. I just wait for the signal to give it to me using a 15-minute chart. Is it an uptrend or a downtrend? Look for the retest type pattern. Come into that. Middle orb is my stop loss with a body of candle that breaks that. And then I look to scale out as I make a pretty good sizable move. But I want to also hold a lot of my micros towards the end of the day because that usually is the biggest move of the day. All right. And you'll see that time and time again. I mean, look at all the bodies of a candle. What is happening? Usually when a move is happening, right, you get to these massive bodies of the candle at the end of the day making the biggest moves, right? Like right in here, look at this massive candle down, massive candle up. You see how that works. There's a lot of, sometimes you just have some candles that just do nothing, right? But that was absolutely beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I mean, look at this daily charts here. I mean, you're just making massive moves when you predict the orb, okay? Orb is the most consistent strategy for me. I do this in the Discord. If you guys are new to watching, you guys are more than welcome to join. I think you guys are going to love this day trading strategy that is so simple that anyone can do. Proper risk management, risk versus reward is absolutely amazing. We did this in the day trade alerts. I posted this. I took ES shorts right here on the 15-minute orb break. You see right here, we had that 15-minute orb break. Come back to this retest type pattern on the lower. I got my middle line right in here. Tell you exactly the thing, the stop loss, and that was a monster in. Up 1K on the futures, held some at the end of the day, passing prop firms in one day. If you guys want to do prop firms, I do personal accounts too. This is just an awesome way to have a massive R&R. Like you can get, up to 7, I have had 7-1 R&R. Like one loss means absolutely nothing when you're getting well above 3-1 R&R, okay? And so that's my strategy. If you guys want to join the Discord, click the link down below in YouTube comments below in the description. It'll say join the premium Discord for my alerts and system. It'll take you to this free chat landing page. If you want to become a member and learn more and just be a part of the community, it's going to be probably the cheapest Discord you ever been a part of. Just hit how to subscribe and hit hashtag day trade alerts. And bam, it'll take you to this section here where I'll show you kind of what the alerts look like. Obviously, there's more to this. I also do credit spreads where you can make passive income and win over 90% of your time. Because remember, if price is choppy, we still win. And that is actually my favorite strategy overall. But hit day trade alerts, you get access to all my services: day trades, swing trades, live streams, educations, future videos, anything that's going to be posted. I'm actually going to put this in the day trading education for a lot of people. But if you want to get in real-time alerts, I will post it for the actual members only. Definitely lock in. It's only $12 a month. It's like, what are you waiting on? $12 a month. Subscribe on your computer to avoid the iOS fee. Read how to subscribe. If you have an Android, you have to use your computer to subscribe. If you're not from the US, it might charge you a little extra, but definitely read all this, subscribe, lock in that gold membership. It's only $12 a month. Just hit day trade alerts and you'll get it. This is going to be a life-changing strategy that I think a lot of people are going to learn how to reprice action a whole lot better. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.